We'll now conclude with closing statements from each of our 7 candidates. Each candidate will have 1 minute to speak, and we will begin closing statements with Gerard Kennedy.
Chers amis militants et militantes, this is the time. This is the time in Ontario history when Liberals will decide a turning point, not just for Ontario, but because Ontario is needed in the context of other political jurisdictions to be a progressive, leading outlook on the entire country, that we get to make a decision about how much change can we afford to do in this tight time frame that we have for ourselves. It has to be enough. It has to be about really going and owning the criticisms that exist in the government, but because we have a way of moving forward. You know, I'm in this for one reason. I have children that are 10 and 14, and like many of you, I'm concerned, and I will not let happen that they be somehow the next generation worse off than the one before. There can't be a more liberal challenge than to work our way through our fiscal constraint and make sure that those young people graduating from university get hired into jobs that use their abilities. And you know it's not as guaranteed as it once was. And you can't believe that we're in any way tired or cowed by any of the people who are criticizing this government. This is what we built this opportunity for. Everything we've done up to now is about being able to push forward and build a future that's optimistic, that doesn't give in to regressive conservative outlooks. And the only way to do that is to be confident Liberals. I look forward to doing that with your support. Merci bien.
Thank you. Now it's Glenn Murray's turn.
Thanks. Some of us are less familiar to you. I've been a dad. I've been a granddad. I learned a lot from my son, who through the fog of fetal alcohol syndrome taught me what courage was and how important to many of our families government is, so our kids can have the same opportunity other kids have. And we as Liberals in our sense of social justice and human rights make that real every day, and I will never forget that as my bond with you. My 85-year-old mother struggles to be independent after a lifetime of taking care of her. I don't want to see Mr. Hudak dismantle all of the things that give my mother the dignity that she as a Canadian deserves. These are the core things that we take forward. I've been elected by more people in more places. I have one of the most electable political careers. I don't think you can find anyone who's been mayor of a capital city and a cabinet minister in another. And it's humbling sometimes because my mayor thinks that Winnipeg is across the street, across the river from Detroit, which wouldn't be a bad thing. But you know, when I couldn't find housing money as a politician, I got on my bike with others and I cycled to Atlanta with Jimmy Carter and we raised millions of dollars. I bring an experience of having bootstrapped a company, led a government through a much more difficult fiscal challenge than we did, but I mostly want to work with you because I'm darn proud to be one of you. God bless, keep you safe. Thank you for being Liberals.
Thank you. Next up is Harinder Takar.
I really want to thank each and every one of you for coming here this evening. I know you had better things to do in this cold weather, other than listening to us for 2 hours. But really, you are the strength of this party. I think this leadership race is all about you. It's all about ideas, so we can make our party stronger. I also want to thank the Carleton University for hosting us. But more importantly, I want to thank all my colleagues for a very lively discussion. I have been convinced, based on the last 3 debates, that any one of us will be a better premier for this province than Tim Hudak or the leader of the NDP party. This party faces, this province faces 2 major challenges in my mind, as I said before. One is this deficit. I think we need to control the deficit. We need to control the debt. Otherwise, we will not be able to provide the services that we as Liberals believe in. So I really would need your help to make that happen. So I want to thank you again for being with us today, and keep up the good work. We look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Takar. Next, we have Charles Sousa.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to share some ideas, discuss things, and how we can work together to improve and make for a better Ontario. And one of the things that we all talk about is that we can't just talk, we need to act. And Ontarians, they want jobs. They want good jobs, not just for themselves, but for their kids and their future as well. And me, I'm all about trying to brand Ontario, sell our goods more to more places, because that's what we expect and what we need to sustain a better future. And of course, I talk about our energy plans, and we discussed a lot about that today. because it's about powering our economy going forward. But we must take action. And I'm asking all of you, and I congratulate all of you for being here and joining us. Please write, email, call any one of us so that you're connected and stay attuned to what we're doing. Any one of these individuals will be worthy, and as already mentioned, I'm very proud of them as well. But more important than that, it's you. It's your involvement. Without you, there is no real renewal here. So I'm asking you to please vote, please be involved, and hopefully vote for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charles. Kathleen Wynne.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, everyone. Merci beaucoup. It's such a wonderful honor to be able to be part of this conversation with these great folks. The debate is evolving. Those of you who may have seen the others online, it is evolving. It's changing, but it is a fantastic team. So it's great to be here. We all know that the economy is top of mind these days. Each of us is clear that we need to balance the budget. What I'm saying is, let's just make sure that as Liberals we ask why. You know, why is it that we're talking about green energy? Why is it important that we invest in housing? Why is it important that we renew the party? Because I think that why really does define us. So on doit toujours souvenir le pourquoi. And we need to make sure that as we go into this next round, because we're confronting a minority parliament, as I said earlier, we are, I think, completely capable of continuing to govern. I'm not running as the leader of the opposition. I'm running to govern with purpose. But if we have to go into an election, bring it on, and we'll defeat them as we have before. And with your help, we'll get there. Thank you very much. Merci, Miguel.
Thank you. Now we have Eric Hoskins.
Well, first of all, I'd like as well to thank the organizers of this debate and my colleagues for an intelligent and productive discussion this evening. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Ladies and gentlemen, this leadership race is about, and in fact, it must be about who has the vision and the leadership to lead this party and to lead this government in the years ahead. It's one thing to talk about the important issues of renewal and new ideas, but I also want to talk about leadership and electability. I want to talk about who can govern, and if there's an election, who can win. I can govern. I have spent my entire life listening and acting and working to find common ground. I can get the budget passed and work with our opposition colleagues to make our minority government work. But if there is an election, our path to victory means winning back those ridings we lost the last time around, especially in rural Ontario. We need a leader who can win, a leader with rural roots like myself who understands how to grow our economy and improve our quality of life. Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to governing, I will lead. And when it comes to electability, I will win. On January the 12th and 13th, when it comes time to mark your ballot and decide our party's future, I am your best choice. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hoskins. Our final closing statement tonight is from Sandra Pupatello.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you, not just those here, but those who've spent the time watching on the World Wide Web. I'm delighted to be here. I'm delighted to tell you why I came back to try to run and be the leader and premier of Ontario. Because people in my party called me and said, we're at a crossroads. A lot of folks who've been with us since 2003, they haven't been with us when it was tough and we had to win to get there in 2003 to be a government. But we're in a minority environment right now, and we're facing a real tough challenge. And what they're telling me that perhaps this will work in a government, in an election, and in a future majority government, to be able to stand up to Andrea Horwath and Tim Hudak, to have the credibility of having worked in government, to know your stuff and be proud of our record. And I believe I can do that. I can tell you it's why I'm back. It's why I'm here. I listen to my party colleagues that I've known for many, many years. I want to do this, and I want to do this with you, and I'm looking forward to the excitement that I feel everywhere I go. Thanks for this evening. Thanks for participating in all of this. Thank you.
We have a few last words before we bring to a close today's debate. We'd like to thank all of the candidates for joining us here today in beautiful, snowy Ottawa. Many of you referred to an earlier event that you were at in a neighboring riding in Stormont, Dundas, South Glengarry on rural issues. You braved the weather to do that, so we wish you safe travel as you crisscross the province, because you are all very important to this democratic process. So merci beaucoup. J'aimerais remercier les candidats pour leur courage, leur travail acharné dans cette campagne et pour la qualité vraiment forte de leur candidature. The next leadership debate will take place in the new year in the GTA, in Ajax. And if you'd like to attend a debate in person, get in touch with your local riding association or one of the leadership campaigns. We also encourage the Ontario Liberal Party members from across Ontario to suggest questions to be asked at one of the future debates. Please email your suggestions to leadership@ontarioliberal.ca with the subject line reading debate question. Alors nous encourageons les membres du Parti libéral de nous envoyer des suggestions de questions pour les prochains débats. Vous pouvez faire cela à l'adresse courriel leadership@ontarioliberal.ca. We want to thank everybody in the audience and watching us today for joining us, and please drive safely. Conduite très sécuritaire sur les routes. Merci beaucoup. Bonsoir.